welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, June 18th, 2018. I'm Yvesta Bowens with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said the problems which Vincentian traders are facing in getting payment for their fresh produce sold in Trinidad and Tobago is of national importance. Dr. Gonsalves said efforts are ongoing to have the matter resolved. The Prime Minister, who was speaking at the launch of the Everything Vinci Expo Plus 2018 last Friday, said this country trades significantly with CARICOM countries, more so with the OECS and Barbados. He added that the Barbados government makes appropriate arrangements for payment despite economic hardships. However, the opposite is true for Trinidad and Tobago.
Matter of friendship, personally, this is a matter where we have to defend the nation's interests. We cannot buy $150 million worth of goods from Trinidad and Tobago. We pay them in US currency, but our traders sell now a mere 10 million Eastern Caribbean dollars, and they're paying us in TT dollars. What am I going to do with TT dollars? I bank them in Trinidad. We bank them in Trinidad. There's a real problem.
Dr. Gonsalves said that he has met with local finance officials and is confident that a solution will be found soon.
I'm hopeful that we are making some progress. I empathize with those traders who have to submit to the Ministry of Finance the requisite documentation because of the imposition of exchange control in relation to goods and services coming from Trinidad and Tobago. But bear with us, and I think we are pretty close to having something resolved so we can relieve our own traders of that particular burden, our own importers of that particular burden. And at the same time to make sure that those who export can get the foreign exchange. Local producers and entrepreneurs will once again be able to display their talents and creative products as Invest SVG prepares for this year's Everything Vinci Plus Expo in October. The Everything Vinci Expo Plus 2018 was launched on Friday at the cruise ship terminal. 125 businesses are registered to take part in this year's expo, which was launched last Friday at the cruise ship terminal. The expo is seen as an opportunity to increase private sector competitiveness and take advantage of available markets. SVG-TV's Barvin Oliver has more in this report.
Vinci Plus Expo 2018 is expected to bring together several entrepreneurs across the country as they seek market opportunities for their products on a local and regional stage. Dami Sinian, a representative from the Caribbean Export Development Agency, who is partnering with Invest SVG, said expos are powerful tools used all over the world to build long-lasting relationships, which lead to increased earnings and brand building. Sinian said the Caribbean Expo Agency is delighted to work with Invest SVG and express confidence in the success of this year's expo.
Right now, Caribbean Export is also working with Guyana on hosting their Gaitai show, Guyana Trade and Investment Exhibition, which will be the first international trade show hosted by that country. So in essence, St. Vincent is a bit ahead of the game. We hope that this expo can fill the gap in this market. Caribbean Export has pledged its full support to Everything Vinci by identifying corporate buyers and providing financial support to bring them to attend the show and meet with exhibitors to facilitate that international business. We will not only look at buyers from CARICOM, but we will also look at buyers from Latin America and the Dominican Republic. It will help you to break out of the CARICOM market into new and exciting destinations.
Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camila Gonzalez said Vincentian products can compete with the best internationally and consider this year's exhibition an opportunity to highlight and celebrate the creativity and ingenuity of local entrepreneurs.
We are not an afterthought in global commerce. We are not simply producing monocrops that rise and fall with the vagaries of international trade. We are not simply here to sell something that other people don't want to sell. We exist as a viable state. We have viable products. We have an ingenious citizenry. And we can produce and compete with the best of anybody in the world. That's what this exhibition is about. That's what I hope you take away. And by October, I think you will all come to our side of the fence and agree that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has some special products, some special people, and together we can achieve some special things. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Annette Mark, Executive Director of Invest SVG, said the expo has generated interest from across the region and called on entrepreneurs not to wait another 2 years to participate.
There has been a marked increase in registration of businesses with Invest SVG with regard to those interested in our training and our support services. So if you miss your chance this year, you will have to wait until 2020 to participate in the next expo. So please don't wait. If you're standing on the outside, you would have lost an opportunity.
For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Barvin Oliver.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has rejected accusations that his ruling Unity Labour Party administration made an unwise decision to construct the Georgetown Medical Complex in the volcanic zone. Some members of the public and the opposition have been critical of the location of the facility, which is soon to become operational. The Prime Minister, who was speaking at a news conference last week, said the medical complex will also cater to patients who sustain injury caused by other natural disasters such as hurricanes.
There's an eruption in 1902. Cataclysmic. Many people died. 1979, there was not a lot of people evacuated, caused problems and so on, economic issues. In 1898 we had a big hurricane. 1921 we had a big hurricane. We had several in the 1950s. We have had between the 1960s and today. We have had storms where people have lost their lives. Dominica just got blown down completely. Grenada in 2004 by a hurricane, not by Sofreno. So what do you want to tell me? You must migrate from the whole of St. Vincent and Grenadines because we are in a belt where we may get blown down with a hurricane, and that Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, which could be blown down tomorrow morning, God forbid, if a hurricane strikes us, that you mustn't build it there? What kind of foolishness.
PM Gonsalves accused the opposition of propaganda and of being prejudiced to rural people. He said other facilities needed to be constructed on the outskirts of the capital for ease of access.
Maybe because of the volcano. All we should do have up there in the countryside, from Fancy, come all the way down to where Mussy Stubbs or Calico, we must only have trash houses because, you know, waiting for the sufferer to erupt so that it caused so much problem. I mean, it is a kind of foolishness. I mean, I don't know what it is a prejudice against country people. Prejudice against country people out there. And I love the people in Chateaubelair saying it too. I mean, what they're saying about Chateaubelair, about down there too. We mustn't have anything down there. Eh? We mustn't have anything down Chateaubelair. Mustn't have anything coming Rose Hall, Rosebank, Chumuka, right down to Barley, which are directly within the belt. Huh? Those are the areas which will evacuate quickly. If suffer really blow, you're safe in town. It's a kind of a foolishness. We take our country as we find it.
Opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday will be hosting an Our Route Forum this Tuesday, 19 June 2018 from 7 p.m. at Hoxha's residence in Obia. The NDP said the forum will afford the Our Route farmers the opportunity to voice their concerns and identify the challenges and issues which are currently affecting the industry and their livelihoods. It is also expected that ideas will be solicited from the farmers on how to revitalize the arrowroot industry. In a news release, the NDP said the forum will also provide a platform for farmers to share ideas and perspectives generally on the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Rose family is again in mourning mere weeks after laying the matriarch of the family to rest. Last Friday evening, the body of 69-year-old Antonian Tony Rose was found bound and hanging at the home of her brother, former ambassador to Cuba, Dexter Rose, at his Queens Drive residence. Antonia, who resided in New York, is also the sister of social activists Renwick and Conley Rose. She was spending extra time in St. Vincent after returning home with other family members for the funeral of her mother, well-known educator and YWCA stalwart Jermaine Granny Rose, who was buried last month. The police said they are carrying out investigations into the death of the New York-based woman. A post-mortem was expected to be carried out on the body today to establish the cause of death. Police are also investigating the apparent suicide of a female secondary school student. Reports are that the 15-year-old was found hanging at her home at South Rivers last Saturday. She was rushed to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital but did not survive. Just 2 weeks ago, a 20-year-old male of Glenside, Mariaqua, hanged himself. The importance of identifying the signs of someone who is suicidal has been emphasized by social worker Old George Daniel. Daniel, in a recent interview with SVG-TV News, highlighted mood changes such as hopelessness, as well as talk about harming oneself and the abuse of drugs as some of the behavioral indicators which may be exhibited by persons who may be contemplating suicide. The McGill University social work graduate, who works in an area of North America that has a high percentage of suicides, cautioned that persons who exhibit these sorts of behaviors must be taken seriously.
You have to be careful to look for warning signs. Of course, and that there's a lot of signs that you can look for to know if someone has suicidal tendencies. Of course, you want to get it right every time, but you should know these things. But someone suffering loss of suicide, the first thing that they tend to do is blame themselves. Right? It's my fault. If I was there, he may not have done that. If I had called him, if I didn't ignore the last call he made to me, if I didn't shout at him yesterday. You know, so you tend to put yourself on the block, your neck on the block, and to punish yourself. Because you feel guilty, you just feel a sense of guilt. So you need to know that it's not your fault. So the important thing is not to put blame on yourself, but it's a natural thing to do. So all the grief, the stages of grief would set in, you know, the anger and the guilt, you know, blame game. But finally you have the
Daniel said that an effort to counsel persons within the circle of friends with whom likely victims of suicide associate is critical to combating what he termed as suicide pacts. This is where persons close to the possible victim also feel despondent and attempt to mimic the behavior. People
who are affected, his friends, his family, of course, need to be in therapy, definitely. Because in my neck of the woods where I work, when one young person commits suicide, we immediately go after their friends. Because they can, I've had experiences where one person say, my friend is dead, I need to go and join him. Right? And sometimes they have suicide pacts. So the best way to know to meet that friend again is to commit suicide so they can go and meet him. Right? So it's important to get to the friends, his best friends, closest friends, know what's his point of contact, right? His circle of friends, and get to them and deal with that.
Daniel, who is currently living and working in the Canadian Arctic, said that from his training and experience, it is also vital to remember the positive aspects of the victim, as this helps the parents and other persons close to them to cope with the loss.
Right, just have discussions about him, right, and the best part of his life. You know, what impact did he make that's positive in their lives, and discuss the positive things. Same thing goes to parents. You know. Rather than look at what he did with his life positively, and use that as a tool for his friends to emulate, you know, to keep going on, to motivate them to keep on, to keep his memory alive, right? And not to feel guilty because your son or your daughter commits suicide and it's not your fault. You can't face the public. People tend to look at you as have the stigma, but your son killed himself. Right, so it's not your fault.
call is being made for early childhood educators to be valued for their dedication to improving the lives of the children of SVG. On Friday, 15th June, at the 2018 Child Month Prize Giving Ceremony held at French's House, Chief Education Officer Beverly Neptune highlighted instances where teachers go beyond the call of duty to ensure the well-being of their charges. She sent out an appeal to ensure that teachers get recognition and support.
Many of you leave later evenings to ensure the safety and well-being of our young ones, to celebrate and to appreciate early childhood educators, practitioners, and the parents of those children. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge the work which has been done in the early childhood education sector across this nation by the private operators, by churches, and by NGOs. I also applaud the government's move towards universal early childhood education. Given that the research suggests that the foundation of any nation rests on the quality and accessibility of early childhood care and development of all children.
Neptune also called on parents and guardians to show respect to teachers, as this helps the preschoolers learn from an early age the importance of showing respect.
This is hard to do without genuine connection with the parents or with the whole family. Those of you who have that connection, I'm sure that loving the children comes naturally, and I thank you. There must be collaborative relationships between the school, the parents and families, based on mutual respect and trust. If that is missing, we have nothing. This, I'm sure, makes it easier for the children to maximize their full potential, build self-confidence, and set up their attitudes towards learning and establish social abilities.
Carnival Beat is coming right up. For yet another year, the Pitani Carnival Committee is celebrating a successful series of rural activities which culminated last weekend. The committee, which is celebrating 10 years of Pitani mass activities, is promising many more years of energetic, exciting and fun-filled activities. Nikita Tony tells us more about
Friday, June 15th to Saturday, June 16th, carnival lovers took to the streets of Mesopotamia for the much-anticipated 2018 Pitani mass activities. Despite the late start, the highly contested KCCU Miss Pitani pageant kicked off the weekend of events, as 7 young ladies graced the stage in hopes of capturing the 2018 title. At the end of the night, it was the crowd favorite contestant number 5, Miss Island Shack Entertainment, Kenisha Llewellyn, who reigned supreme. Llewellyn, who exuded confidence throughout her 5 appearances, also gained the judges' nod for the Best Evening Wear and Best Interview awards. The newly crowned queen said she had no doubts about what she was going to accomplish come show night. She used the occasion to extend carnival greetings to the Vincentian public.
I'm lost for words right now, but I am extremely proud of myself. It has been a very hectic journey for me, but I'm so happy that I was able to surpass that and overcome my goals. I am Kenisha Llewellyn, Miss KCCU Pitani 2018, and I just want to say thank you to all my supporters. You guys really mean a lot to me, and I will definitely have to say that you enjoy the best of the rest of the carnival season here in Pitani. As you know, it's the hottest rural carnival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So thank you once more, and be responsible, drive safely, and enjoy your carnival.
First runner-up in this year's KCCU Miss Botany pageant was Jalicia Bilingi, Miss Thirsty Water, who also copped the Miss Congeniality Award and was adjudged Best in Swimwear and Best Talent.
I realized everybody a fight down. Missy artists and DJ a fight. Missy politician, one-ton manager and producer.
Trina Hooper, Miss Rough Ice International, was the second runner-up. She also took the 2018 Miss Photogenic Award. The action then continued from about 4 a.m. on Saturday as revelers partied behind two massive song trucks from the Lacqua boxing plant towards Mesopotamia for Juve. The Kiddies Carnival and Evening Street Party then followed, bringing an end to the weekend-long activities. As they look forward to even greater patronage in 2019 and beyond, the Botany Carnival Committee said it remains committed to producing one of this country's biggest and hottest rural carnivals. Nikita Tony reporting for Carnival Beat.
The CDC has released the names of the 24 Calypsonians who have made it through to the 2018 semi-finals Fantastic Friday, slated for next Friday, June 29th at the Victoria Park. The semi-finalists, who perform with 4 Calypso tents, were selected from the Calypso preliminaries, which culminated last Thursday, June 14th. The Dynamite's Calypso tents will have one representative in this year's semi-finals in the person of Carlos Rejecto Providence. The on-tour Calypso tent has secured 5 picks in namely Kenneth Vibrating Skakes Ali, Adolphus Icom Miller, Elvis Abijah Abbey, Robert Patches King, and Wendell Speechy Goodrich. The Graduates and Upstage Experience Calypso tents each has 8 representatives in this year's semi-finals contest. Chiwali Johnson, Glenroy Solis Caesar, Maxwell Tajo Francis, Kinsley Hero Roberts, Nigel Broom Lane Little, Felicia Nubian Princess Alexander, Hans John, and St. Clair Mitch Lavier will represent the Graduates tent. The Upstage Experience will be represented by Fitzroy Brother Ebony Joseph, Chanel Mackenzie, Zamfer Manzangi Adams, Chernel Scarpion Williams, Cleopatra Hendrickson, Joanna Nubian Princess Christopher, Gosnell GC Cupid, and Shane Collis. Glenford Azara Charles and Sharika Richards are the 2 reserves in this year's Calypso semis. And news just coming to hand, reigning Calypso monarch Lornette Fire Empress Ned will not be defending her crown in the big yard this year. A note from her publicist is that she is currently on bed rest after undergoing surgery. Meanwhile, the battle for the 2018 Soca Monarch and Raga Soca Monarch crowns will begin this Saturday, June 23rd, as some 40 Soca and Raga Soca artists compete in the 2018 Soca semifinals at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac. The Cooler Fete-style event came back on stream last year and was deemed a success. This year, the CDC is promising a more exciting showcase and is urging the public to come out and support their 2018 Soca and Raga Soca star. Bahamians protesting their government's plan to increase the value-added tax by some 50%. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.